Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and thank you for clicking on the video. Thank you for all you do to support the channel, for your comments, and for your thumbs up. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. And the title of this video is The Police Can Actually Tell a Black American from an Immigrant. Listen to this from Rachel Lynn Cash's channel. Rachel Lynn is always responding to some ignorant thing that some immigrant has left on her channel. So watch this.
Now the Trump administration is said to be sending ICE for the Haitians. I need all the people who said this doesn't affect black people to clock back in. Because let me ask you something and answer out loud. How is ICE going to tell the difference between a Haitian, a Jamaican, and a black American? How do you think these racist ass ICE agents who think all black people look the same are going to tell the difference? This is what I've been saying. Racism doesn't check passports, it checks skin tones. You really think they're going around asking, excuse me, sir, are you Haitian or are you black American? Oh, damn well they don't care where your ancestors came from. This should be a wake-up call for anybody with some melanin in their skin.
It is absolutely amazing to me how so many immigrants come to America thinking that they can school Black Americans on how the American system works as it pertains to race. They're coming at us like they know more about how the system in America works than we do. The people who have suffered under the system for centuries, they somehow come over here thinking that they're schooling us about how our system, the system that we've always lived under. We didn't migrate into the system. We were here before the system was even created, right? But somehow they think they know more about it than we do. Somehow they think that we're in the same boat that they are. They think that we're in the same immigration system that they're in. Like we have immigration paperwork or something that we have to fill out every year.
It is not our fault that Black immigrants come to the United States thinking that they have the same status that we have or that they have a higher status than we have because, after all, they weren't slaves. So they come here thinking that we're in the same category. And now they found out that's not true. So the new talking point is if the police pull us over, they don't know an immigrant from a Black American. Let me be very clear. That's not true. And the reason this talking point even exists tells you everything about the moment we're in. Two things happened that flipped the entire dynamic. Number one, Black Americans delineated. We said, we're not advocating for you. We're not carrying your political battles, and we're not your shield. Stay out of our spaces. So that was the first thing, delineation. The second thing was Trump and deportation returned to center stage. And Black Americans said, that's not our problem. Handle your immigration status yourself. This combination created a panic because a group that once relied on Black American advocacy suddenly realized they're standing alone. Now, this is what they were relying on. Black Americans used to want connection with a global Black world. We advocated for people to come here. We supported international Black movements. We assumed there would be cultural alignment, shared struggle, and shared values. We had no idea how different many of these groups were from us in terms of worldview, social development, political understanding, and expectations about America. We didn't know how deep the disconnect was. We didn't know how unfamiliar many were with American systems, American culture, American racial dynamics, or the constitutional position Black Americans hold here. They had no idea that we are in the Constitution. We are the foundation of this country. We didn't know how many of them would arrive with outdated assumptions, which I call ignorant, unrealistic expectations, a complete misunderstanding about how America works, and a belief that Black Americans were somehow beneath them. That was a shock. And once Black Americans realized the gap, the delineation began, and it really began too late. We should have done it a long time ago. We should never have tried to connect with these people until we knew who they were. But better late than never. Now we know, so you do better when you know better. And I'll just add this because it's true. Old white racists had been telling Black people for years, you ought to be glad we brought you out of there. And I'll leave it at that. So back to the police. Now we're hearing if the police pull us over, they can't tell who's an immigrant and who's a Black American. That's not a statement of fact. That's a statement of fear. It's an attempt to pull Black Americans back into a shared identity. After years of loudly insisting, we're not like you, running and twerking up to white people and telling them we are not like those Black Americans. I'm from Haiti. I'm from Jamaica. I'm from this place. I'm from that place. Well, they spent years differentiating themselves. Now they're trying to erase the difference because the consequences of that difference suddenly matter. The real mistake that they made was in thinking that they have a status in America that they don't have. Now, police procedure makes the claim that they're making about they're not being able to tell us from them impossible because American police are trained. They follow a standardized process. The problem comes in when they don't follow the process. They don't follow the process they've been trained to follow. And that is why most of us don't even have any problems with the police. I have had one problem with the police in all the time that I have been driving, and I took him to traffic court because I didn't like the way he behaved during that traffic stop. And I have been stopped before and since for whatever I was doing. Whatever they said I was doing, I was doing. If they said I was speeding, I was speeding. If they said that one time my husband had put my decal on the bottom left when it's supposed to be at the top right. So the police officer thought that I hadn't had my tag renewed. But I told him and he saw it and he said, well, you're probably going to be stopped again. So you just tell them straight up where it is. And that was the end of it. Most of us don't have a problem with the police, but there are a lot of Black Americans in this country. And some of those Black Americans don't follow the rules that their father told them. When the police stops you, cooperate because the police is supposed to follow a standardized process. Okay? So, what is that standardized process? When they pull you over, they ask for your driver's license, your vehicle registration, and your proof of insurance. Your driver's license alone really tells them what they need to know. Your legal name or your government name, your address, your date of birth, your license status, your immigration related identification, depending on your state, and your federal database matches. And that's what's important. Police don't guess. They don't rely on accents, skin tone, or vibes. They rely on documents and databases. The idea that police can't tell is simply not true. They're not even looking at your skin tone. They're not looking at that. They are looking at what your driver's license say and what they find when they go back and pull that up from their computer. That's what they are going on. So you can stop this lie about the police. I know a Black American from an immigrant. They're not trying to know. They're trying to know who you are based on that stop. So the problems that Black people have with the police nationwide is when the police don't follow the procedures that they have been trained to follow. So why this talking point is being pushed is because for many years, immigrants believed Black Americans had no status, Black Americans had no constitutional grounding, and Black Americans were socially powerless. They assumed that when they arrived, they'd automatically outrank us socially. But when they got here, they discovered Black Americans move freely, Black Americans speak freely, Black Americans challenge white people openly. Black Americans are culturally dominant. Black Americans are constitutionally embedded. Black Americans cannot be deported. And Black Americans have a real historical relationship with America. And this was a shock to them because they thought we were going to be deported. And they still haven't gotten over that. And that goes for all of the immigrants because they are listening to white racist talking points. They're not looking at the laws and the Constitution. They're listening to the wrong people, and the wrong people misled them. And that's all there is to it. And now that deportation is back on the table, they're realizing that Black Americans are not in the same category as them. So they're trying to collapse the categories. They're trying to drag us into their category, and we're not going. So, this is the truth that these immigrants don't want to face. The police knows who's who, the government knows who's who, the Constitution knows who's who, and Black Americans know who's who. The only people pretending there's no difference are the ones who suddenly need Black Americans again after spending years telling the world that we're nothing like them. No, you're not. And if you listen to the man from the Bantu Diaries talk about Africans, especially West Africans, you will find out we really are nothing alike. So, yes, the police can tell the difference. They always could. This talking point isn't about policing, it's about panic. It's about losing proximity to Black American advocacy. It's about realizing that delineation is real. And it's about facing the truth they never expected. Black Americans are not just culturally foundational, we are constitutionally foundational. And that status cannot be borrowed. So, good luck trying, but all of this, we're one and we're the same and we're all together, that's over. Black Americans see you as you are. You're like the emperor with no clothes. Okay, y'all, and I want to let you know that I have uploaded a new video on Black American lineage, and it's called The Black Woman Who Saved the Union Army, and it's about Mary Elizabeth Bowser. She was inducted in the U.S. Army Military Intelligence Hall of Fame in 1995. Her great-granddaughter, McEvil Bowser, attended the ceremony and accepted the award. So this is on Black American lineage. Also on this channel, I uploaded a video called The Smartest Enslaved People in History. And that video, for some reason, has not gotten the views that my other videos normally get. So if y'all have a chance, check that video out, please. It's a good video. I spent all day Saturday working on that video. So anyway, this is our moment, and we deserve it. Okay, y'all, thank you for listening, and have a good day.